Hello, everyone. I want to talk about the confidence myth because I used to think it was about improving my speaking skills, even having a better intellectual understanding of confidence. But when I think about people like Socrates or Abraham Lincoln or Steve Jobs, they speak less. And I think this comes down to a fundamental interest in other people. And that is exactly what I want to talk about in this video because this is the real key to confidence. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. Most of us get caught up in what we want, and then when we talk to people, it feels like we're pulling teeth to get what we want. And so when we are trying to make people like us, it's an uphill battle. This is our instinctual inclination to chase the bees to give us honey. But if we really want honey, what we want to do is care for the hive and let it pour out naturally. And what I mean by that is by shifting from us to them. This means three things that we can do because in an interaction, there's you, there's the other person, and there's how you relate. So first, we want to be high energy. If you're talking to someone who's grouchy and low energy, this is very unappealing to be around. Second, we want to contribute. Be a contributor. A lot of times I've noticed myself walking into rooms and I need to catch myself because I'm like, what can I take from this room? Maybe there's food, maybe I can get compliments. But this is the role of the consumer. We want to enter the role of the contributor and see what we can give, whether it's a compliment that is sincere or a gift or resources to this person. And lastly, we want to pay high, close attention. And I'll talk more about how we can do these three things. The mind likes to do a lot of things. As you can see, if you just go throughout your day and observe your mind, you will notice that there are lots of thoughts, and many of them are just horrible, useless thoughts. Paying attention means, sure, you might have thoughts because it's just part of our experience, but we stop identifying with the thoughts and we just observe them and we pay attention to what this other person is talking about. And even when thoughts pass our mind, we don't let them get in the way of really paying attention. And we can do this by trying to remember details. Birthdays, hobbies, upcoming trips, names. I'll give you an example to explain this a little more deeply. I used to go to a farmer's market a couple of years ago, and a family was there that hosted a coffee shop. And so I went to this coffee shop and I was talking with them, and they told me their four daughters' names. And the next week, I saw this family again, and boom, their four daughters were there. Well, I called each daughter by their name, and you'd better believe that entire family was in shock. Guys, all I did was remember their names, and yet they held me in the highest regard every time I saw them. They invited me to several events. So there's what you remember and what you say, but it's also about presence. This is the other thing I want to talk about, is how to be high energy. This is going to be a real quick one, real simple. Who's really good at this? The dog. The dog is a marvelous role model for us with this. It's not all wrapped up in its narratives. It's just excited to see you. And how great is it to see a dog just make your day? Actions speak louder than words, and a smile says, I like you. You make me happy. I'm glad to see you. That is why dogs make such a hit. They are so glad to see us that they almost jump out of their skins. So, naturally, we are glad to see them. A sure, quick way to be high energy, guys, is to smile. And my dad has actually done a lot of radio. And eventually he started to live stream his backgammon games. If you don't know what backgammon is, it's this board game with checkers and dice. And I saw him live streaming, and I was impressed because he had this ability to just tap into his radio mode. So I asked him, Dad, how do you shift gears like that and be such a good host? And I'll tell you. Well, I smile and have high energy. Even if people can't see my face, they can hear it through the phone. When customers call me, I smile. They instantly feel a warmth from me and they want to talk to me. And this has paid dividends. Even when people can't see that he is smiling, he continues to smile because people can hear it through the voice. So, quickest way to be high energy, smile and be cheerful even when you don't feel like it. Now, at this point, you've basically become irresistible between paying close attention and being high energy. But there's a fundamental lifestyle switch, which means being a contributor. This is just like the perspective we bring into our interactions. So the consumer is someone who just consumes, like they scroll on social media and they go into social interactions and they try to take things, compliments, food, whatever. The contributor scrolls on social media, but actually contributes to the conversation, like writes comments, books calls, like meets people. And so there's a difference here because the contributor, by doing this, they attract resources by making themselves available to help. You can't attract friends and connections if you're not actually making yourself available to people in the first place. So they make friends, they spark connections, and they're using their brain. Like, this is, I know it sounds silly, but like when you practice this, you become much more sharp because you've been exercising this creativity muscle. So the consumer lacks friendship and creative exercise and joy. The contributor is resourceful and is constantly upgrading themselves and is fulfilled. All right, that's the key to this first section, this core element of being interested in others. Pay close attention, be high energy by smiling and being cheerful, and have the fundamental perspective of a contributor. So that is how to be more interested in other people. The confidence myth is the myth that you have to become like some sort of extrovert or nail down like all the right mental frameworks and everything. But really, this aspect of being interested in other people and being like genuinely excited to connect with them is ultimately what forges confidence because it's a byproduct.